Hello, Irvita. How are you? Okay, so I am very good and fine. So today we are going to start with new chapter, which is nothing but simple interest and compound interest. It is fairly a small topic, so that we cover uh, in a small time. So first one is what we are going to cover in this topic. First one is simple interest and amount. Here we see the formula of simple interest or simple amount. Second one is compound interest and amount, and then we do some practice question on these two topics, which will more clarify your doubt and concept on these two topics. Now, first we going to start with simple interest. So simple. What is the formula of simple interest? The formula for simple interest is equal to PR into T divided by 100. Where what is the meaning of this term? SI is the simple interest. What is P? P is the principal amount deposited and invested. R is the rate of interest per annum. Annum means per year. Okay, and T is time period in year. So one thing you have to remember, if rate of interest is here you make it one note, if rate of interest is given in month, then time period need to be expressed in month, means rate and time in the same unit. If rate of interest expressed in per year, then time is also in year. We will see more when we do the question. Also, one thing in this, rate is, if rate is given 8% per annum, so you take the value of r equal to 8, not r equal to 8 by percent. 0.08. This is wrong. You have take the value R8, R equal to 8 when rate is given 8% per annum, because in formula rate is it in percent. Okay. And what this note says, if let's say time is given in, rate is given yearly and time is given 3 months, so you didn't put t equal to 3 directly here. You have to this convert into this time into years. So what you do, in 1 month, in 1 year there are 12 months. When you convert it into year, are equal to, you get 1 by 4 year. Okay, this is all about simple interest formula. Now we come on to amount. What is the formula for amount? You got this all. So far so good. So please note it down. Then we move forward. Done. Okay. Now come on to the next concept, which is the total value, or we say total amount. So total value or amount, either in simple interest or in compound interest, total value and amount will be annual equal to principal plus simple interest, means what the amount invested and what the interest we make on that amount, that total will be amount. So if we expand furthermore this formula, we know formula for SI is P into R into T by 100. Now if I take P as common, so this formula will become 1 plus RT by 100. Okay. So in simple interest, you separately calculate first the interest, then add on to the principal amount and you get the total amount. So you got this? Did you got this? Okay, so note it down, then we move forward. Done? Okay. Now I come on the compound interest. Okay. So what is compound interest formula? Here we didn't calculate the first interest. Here we have to remember formula for compound amount. So what is the formula? P 1 plus R by N by 100 is to the power NT, where P is the principal amount deposited and invested, as same as simple in B defined as in simple interest. R is the rate of interest per annum. T is the time period in year. Here new one term come where n is the number of terms. I furthermore, when we move forward, I tell you what is n and how did we calculate n. So n is the number of terms, means आप कितनी बार में, how many time means कितने बार में आप amount को pay कर रहे हैं. Like if आप you pay in only one time, in एक ही बार में आप पे कर रहे हैं तो n equal to 1. अगर if you take two terms to pay the amount to n equal to 2 like this, then we see in the further more details when we move forward. So note down this and also remember this formula. This is the formula for compound interest. Compound amount interest BC. Okay. So if I want to calculate the compound interest, so what I tell you, total amount is always equal to principal plus interest. So it is principal plus compound interest. So formula for compound interest here is compound amount minus principal, right? So what is the amount? Amount formula is 1 plus P R by N by 100 is to the power NT minus P. So if I take P as common, so this formula will become 1 plus R by N by 100 is to the power NT minus 1. So this is the formula for compound interest. You have to remember only the compound amount formula and this thing. What thing? This thing. Compound amount is equal to principal plus compound interest. This thing. Okay. So in simple interest, first we calculate the interest, then we calculate the amount. But in compound interest, you have first find the amount, then you have to calculate the interest. Okay. Now in compound interest, in simple interest, there is no one term which is n. So what is the meaning of n? If interest is compounded annually means you have to pay in one time. So number of terms you have to pay n equal to 1. Semi-annually means n equal to 2, because you have to pay the loan or invested amount दो बार में आप पे कर रहे हैं in two chances. Okay. Quarterly means n equal to 4 and monthly means n equal to 12, because you have to pay the interest or loan at every month. So n equal to 12. And effective rate of interest. What is effective rate of interest? If in compound interest become r by n. If it is compound annually, so r by 1. If monthly, r by 12, like this. Okay, you got this? Okay, so note down this. Then we see the one example which will more clarify the concept. Okay, done. So we move forward. Okay, so if what given in the question, if r equal to 12% per annum for 1 year with interest compounded. So first he asked, let's say, what is the effective rate of interest when we calculate annually. So what is the rate of interest? First you tell me for annually what is the value of n. Here n equal to 1. So effective rate of interest will be 12 by 1, which is number 12, right? Similarly, when he asked for semi-annually, then he asks for semi-annually, what is the rate and what is the value for semi-annually, n equal to 2, and effective rate of interest, what is the effective rate of interest here, 12 by 2, which is nothing but 6%. Okay, right. Now when given quarterly means n equal to 4. The value of n hide in the what amount he said, like he said quarterly. So quarter means 4, semi means semi annual means 2, like this. Okay, sorry, here quarterly. Okay, so what is the effective rate of interest here? Effective rate of interest here is 3%. Similarly, when you go for monthly, what is the value of n? Value of n become 12. So what is the effective rate of interest here? It is 12 by 12, which is nothing but 1%. So how we calculate the rate of interest? You understand this? Okay, so please note down this. Then we move forward. Done. Okay. Make a note that interest compound annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, etc. is considered only in compound interest. Means these term you see in only in the compound interest, not in the simple interest. Make this note. Then we solve one question on this. Done. Okay. So what the question says, if $1 is invested at 8% compounded annually, the total value of investment in dollar after 5 years would be. So he asked for the what amount he got after 5 years. So here you tell me what is the principal amount. Principal amount is $1, right? What is the rate of interest? It is 8%, means 8. Compound annually means what is the value of n? Equal to 1, and t is given in already in year, which is 5 years. So when we put the formula for compound interest, it is, and we also have to calculate the effective rate of interest. What is effective rate of interest? It is also 8 because it is annually. So here I put 8, here 1, sorry, here this principal is given 1, here 8 by 100, value of n is 1 and t is 5. So this will give you 1 plus 0.08 to the power 5, which is nothing but 1.08 to the power 5 dollar. So I think option is also given in this form. So correct option is C for this. Right? Got this question? Then we move forward. Now, difference between the compound interest and simple interest. What is the difference between the compound interest and simple interest? If interest is calculated on the principal amount in simple interest and interest is calculated on the previous amount on the compound interest, means what this means, in simple interest we always calculate the interest on initial value or on principal. Okay, but in compound interest you have calculate the interest on the amount you get previously. What I mean to say, this example will clear the this concept. Okay, first you now understand the meaning of that. The previous amount keyword is the previous amount. Here is the on the principal amount. Okay, let's say if $1,000 is invested at 10% at a rate of interest per annum. Let's see how simple and compound amount change after every year. Right. So if I calculate simple interest after 1 year, means in 1 year, so what is the value of simple interest? The value of simple interest is nothing but P into R into T by 100. So principal is 1000, rate is 10% times 1 year and 100. So what is this value we got? 100. Right? And what the amount we got? Amount we got principal plus simple interest. Here we got 1100. Right? Now after second year when you calculate, here instead of 10 there is 22, because you have to calculate the interest on principal amount, so you get 200. So here the amount is 1200. Right? After third year it is 300 and so like this. But what the amount come here, let's see. So here amount you get compound interest equal to, if you calculate 1 plus r by n by 100 in 20, it will nothing but 1000. 1 plus 10 by 1, 10 by 100 upon 1, this will you give 1000 into 1.1, right? So it give you 1100. Not on the problem. What I say, here we calculate the interest on this amount. Now for here you didn't calculate the interest on this amount either. You have to calculate the interest on this amount. What is the interest? 10% interest. So it is 10% of this. So what is the 10% of this? 110 compound interest for the next year. Right, right. So it is 110. When you add this, you'll become 1210, and 10% of this is 121, which you again add, you get 133. Sorry, when you get 1331. Similarly, when you calculate the interest for, you get 133.1, and when you add this 1331 to 133.1, so you get 1464.41. So the main difference here you see, here we calculate the interest 10% of this, 10% of this 100, here also 100, like this. But here the compound interest changes because it calculates on the previous amount we get. This is the difference between simple interest and the compound interest. Okay, so you got this. Then we move forward. Okay, and do one question. Okay, so what the question says, let's see. On August 1, 2000, Tom deposited an amount of $10,000 in a new account at an annual interest of 24% compounded monthly. Here they focus on these keywords: compounded monthly, not annually. If no additional deposit or withdrawal were made and the interest is credited on the last day of every month, what was the amount of money in the account on October 1 to 2000? So first you tell me the time period. What is the time between August 1, 2000 to October 1, 2000? Tell me. It is 2 months. August 1 to September. and September 1 to October 1. Here he asked for the amount. Okay. Now, what is the principal? Principal is $10,000, right? What is the rate of interest? It is 24% annually. What is the value of n for month? 12, and time is 2 months. Now what I have to do before putting the formula, I convert n and t. Okay. So effective rate of interest R by n, which will become 24 by 12, 2%, and t become 2 by 12 equal to 1 by 6 year. Now you plug these values in the formula and you get the compound amount. So if I put this compound amount equal to principal effective rate of interest, I say, so principal is this, right? R by n become 2 by 100 into n will give 12 and t is 1 by 6, which is nothing but 10,000, 1.02 square, and here you get the amount is $10,404. This compound amount you got after the 2 months. So answer is D. You got this question? Got it? Okay, this is from formula, but there is one trick or shortcut we say. But if you didn't understand that logic, then you use the formula. Otherwise, a simple way is, or the we say, what is effective rate? Tell me. So effective rate we calculate already. Effective rate is 2%. We know that. Now number of months is 2 and the principal amount is 10,000, right? So we calculate the amount interest for 1 year or amount after 1 year. It is increases by 2%. So 1% of 10,000 is 100. You already stated it. So what is 2%? It is 200. So you add this, you get 1200 after 1 month. Now for the next one, what is the 1% of this? It is 102. So what is the 2% of this? It is 204. Again you increase 2%. So here you get 10404. So you simply got 10404, but this is for those who understand this logically. Otherwise you use the formula and uh, get the answer. So note down this. This is all about simple interest and compound interest. First you note down this, then we again see some QH question for this. Done? Okay. Now just give me some time, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Then we do some question. Okay. Just I open my PDF. So this is the exercise for compound interest and interest. So we do some question here, then we see. Okay. Okay. So question number one to study. I think question type of question one we do in the our example. Like here, what we do only question which type of example we don't do. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay, now it is clear. My screen is visible to you. Okay. So first type of question we already did in, I think so. First type of question we already did in example. So you try at your home. This is your homework. And second type also we do in the example. So I simply come to question number third. What question number third says? Question number third says Maggie bought a 1 year $5,000 5,000 certificate of deposit that paid interest at an annual rate of 6%, compounded semi-annually. What was the total amount interest paid on the certificate at the maturity? So he gives in question number 10. What he gives in question number 10? He gives the principal amount rate, right? So what is the principal for question number 10? So the principal is dollar 5,000, right? Rate of interest is given 6% semi-annually. Rate is given annually and he asked for annually n equal to t2 and time to 1 year. So first we calculate the effective rate of interest, which is 6 by 2, 3%, right? Now is already in here, so you calculate the first the compound amount, then we calculate the compound interest by minus the principal amount from compound amount. So this is 5,000, sorry, this is 5,000, this is given 3 by 100 and is 20 is 1. So you get 5,000 0 square, which is nothing but here you get dollar and you calculate, but this is the compound amount, right? We have to calculate the compound interest. So what I do, I calculate the compound interest by annual minus principal, which is nothing but which is 304.9 dollar, right? Option is C. This question clear to you? So make a note of this question, then we move forward. Let me know when you are done. So I come on the question number 4. What question number 4 says? Leo deposit 1,000 to open a new saving that 60% annual interest compounded quarterly. Here he gives the compounded quarterly. If there were no other transaction in the account, what was the amount money in the Leo's account 6 months after the account was opened? So he asked for 6 months. Now for this question, what is the principal? Tell me. It is $1,000, right? What is rate of interest annually? 16%. Quarterly, what is the value of n? 4. Time is given 6 months. You convert it into years. So in year it is half year, right? And when we calculate effective rate of interest, so it is 16 by 4, which is nothing but 4%. What's 4? I we take in formula as 4. Now put the formula. What is the formula? It is compound interest P 1 plus R by N by 100 is to the power NT. So what is the value of principal? It is 1000. 1 plus 4 by 100. Value of N is 4. It is half, so it will become 2. So this will become, this will give you 1081.6. This amount you got after 6 months. Option is D, right? So note down this. You got this question? Okay, if you got this, then we move forward. Okay. So I come on to question number 5th. This type of question we also see in concept, means I give you concept of this. Here he take PSN. So this is homework for you. I solve one or maybe two part for this. Then other one is homework for you. So first one to homework for you. Second one is also homework for you. I solve third and fourth. So in third, what is given here? Principal as principal, R as R percent, and T as annuals. So for compounded monthly, what is the value of small n? It is 12, right? So when you put, and what is the effective rate of interest? It is R by N, which is R by 12. So when you put the formula for compounded amount, this will come, right? So P is P, 1 plus effective rate of interest is R by 12 by 100, N is 12 and T is N. So this will give you R1 plus R by 1200 is to the power 12. You got this? Okay. Similarly, when you calculate quarterly, so what is for quarterly? So for quarterly, you put N equal to 4 in the sum formula, and effective rate of interest for quarterly is R by 4, right? And T is N years, right? So when you put the formula, I directly put R by 4 by 100 into N into 4. So here you get 1 plus R by 400 to power 4, right? This is for compounded quarterly. Okay, so you got this. Okay, so please note down this, then we move forward. First you note down this, then the second question. So I come on the question number 6th. What question number 6 is? A and B invest $1,000 and 2,000 at the respective interest rate of 10% and 5% compounded annually. What is the difference between the interest earned by them if they both invested the amount for 2 years, right? So for A, principal is $1,000, right? Rate is 10. Value of N is 1 because he asked annually, and T is 2 years. So when I put the formula for this, principal is 1000, one effective rate of interest 10 by 1 into 2. So from here you got nothing but 1 to 1 0. This is compound amount, is compound interest 210, right? For B I calculate from logic. What I mean to say, principal amount for B is 2000, right? Rate of interest for B is 5% annually and equal to 1 equal to 2 years, right? So it is 2000 for first year. After 1 year it is increases by 5%, right? So this will become 1%, 20, so 5% 100. So when you add this you get 2100. Next in the second year again increase by 5%. So 1% is 21, 5% is 105. When you add this you get the principal amount, oh sorry, amount is 2205 and compound interest is 2205 minus 2000 which is 205, but he asked for the interest of these two. So difference between the interest, difference between the interest is nothing but 210 minus 205 which is 5. The answer is $5. So note down this, then we move to one question on simple interest. Done? Okay, you have to note down this. In the meantime, see the question on simple interest. Okay. Done? Then okay. So we do one question on simple interest. Okay. So I do this last question for you. So read out the question number 1. a total of $1,000 was deposit into two saving account under simple interest. Part A at annual rate of 5% and rest at 10% for 1 year. If total interest earned was $75, what amount was interest invested at the rate of 5%? Okay. So what is given in the question? There are total principal amount 10,000 and he invested two in two simple interest, one at an annual rate of 5% and another at 10%. And the total interest means SI1 here, if I got interest SI2, so total interest SI2 he got $75, right? So he asked what amount he invested, what the principal amount he invested in 5%. So let's say in 5% he invested X amount. So what he invested in 10%, remaining one. So what is remaining one? This one. Now you calculate the simple interest one or directly write it. Simple interest one as principal is X, rate is 5, time is 1 year and 100. For 2, I write as 100,000 minus X, T into time is 1 year upon 100 equal to 75. From this equation, you have to calculate the value of X. So this is 5X. This becomes 10,000 minus 10 is equal to 7,500. So this will become 5X equal to 10,000 minus 7, 2,500. So X becomes 500. So 500 amount he invested in. This answer for this is 500. You got this? So please note down this. This is all about simple interest and compound interest. So what is your homework? Your homework is you have to done the remaining questions of QH and this 4 or 5 I think question of QB. This is all about simple interest and compound interest. So we will meet in the next class. In next class we start with equation either or number system. Thank you.